Here we go then, people. We have got the CEO of National Public Radio, NPR, testifying in front of the House DOGE Committee, the Department of Government Efficiency. Let's see what she's got to say. Don't hit like, don't subscribe, smash nothing, enjoy the video. Roll VT.
Losing my voice here.
Don't worry.
Miss Marr, I want to start with you. Just generally, would you say you generally agree or disagree with the following statement? The history of all hitherto existing society is the history of class struggles.
On the off chance you don't know, that is the first line in Chapter 1 of the Communist Manifesto, the section called The Bourgeois and the Proletariat. So he's sort of dipping his toe in ideological water, so to speak. Let's see what she says. Let's find out if she's a red under the bed or a red under the bed.
I would not say I agree with that, sir.
You're not. That's good to hear. It's interesting because a lot of your thinking, as expressed by your public statements, is deeply infused with economic and cultural Marxism. Do you believe that America is addicted to white supremacy?
I believe that I tweeted that, and as I've said earlier, I believe much of my thinking has evolved over the last half decade.
It has evolved. Why did you tweet that?
I don't recall the exact context, sir, so I wouldn't.
I can give you the context. It was Twitter, and and you decided to make it public.
Be able to say.
Okay. Do you believe that America believes in black plunder and white democracy?
I don't believe that, sir.
Oh, amazing! That she's almost as good an actress as Rachel Zelga. I don't believe that, sir.
Tweeted that in reference to a book you were reading at the time, apparently, The Case for Reparations.
I don't think I've ever read that book, sir.
You tweeted about it. You said you took a day off to fully read The Case for Reparations. You put that on Twitter in January of 2020.
Apologies, I don't recall that I did.
Okay.
I mean, at what point do we just say, yeah, but you're lying? You're lying, or your selective memory is really working out well for you here. I mean, you're lying. What do you mean you don't remember it? Of course you do. And if you don't, can you tell us now what you think about that? Or maybe old Gil's just going for letting the sunshine of nature disinfect this barbaric tosh.
Okay.
I'd no doubt that your tweet there is correct, but I don't recall that.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's not his tweet, it's your tweet. So you're saying your tweet's correct. That's a weird-ass way of nearly denying your point.
Okay. Do you believe that white people inherently feel superior to other races?
I do not.
You don't? You tweeted something to that effect. You said, I grew up feeling superior. How white of me. Why did you tweet that?
I think I was probably reflecting on what it was to grow up in an environment where I had lots of advantages.
It sounds like you're saying that white people feel superior.
I don't believe that anybody feels that way, sir. I was just reflecting on my own experiences.
Do you think that...
Well, so you feel that. I mean, what's interesting here, look, she's having to tread a very fine line between, denying being a communist, but also keeping her communist network, friends, employers happy. Although I'd imagine NPR is going to lose its government funded. I effing hope so.
White people should pay reparations?
I've never said that, sir.
Yes, you did. You said it in January of 2020. You tweeted, yes, the North, yes, all of us, yes, America, yes, our original collective sin and unpaid debt, yes, reparations, yes, on this day.
I don't believe that was a reference to fiscal reparations, sir.
Oh,
what kind of reparations was it a reference to?
Yeah, go on. What, you're going to make cakes and take them down to the projects?
I think it was just a reference to the idea that we all owe much to the people who came before us.
There you go. Just remember, like fading facts. It means just nothing. I despise these self-hating white people. I don't waste my time with hate, but she's coming across sort of all right with her endless lies and denials and her artificial selective history of her own existence. But trust me, these people will probably shoot you for the communist utopia. I've met plenty of people like this. They're not to be trusted, as you can tell by her endless lies.
That's a bizarre way to frame what you
Yeah.
tweeted. Okay, how much reparations have you personally paid?
Sir, I don't
Sweet Foxtrot Alpha.
believe that I've ever paid reparations.
Okay, just
But I'm sure you spend your life telling other people too.
for everybody else.
I'm
Yeah.
not asking anyone
Seems
to pay
to be what you're
reparations, sir.
suggesting. Do you believe that looting is morally wrong?
I believe that looting is illegal, and I refer to it as counterproductive. I think it should be prosecuted.
Do you
to the
believe
full
it's
extent of the
morally
law.
wrong, though?
Of course.
Of course. Then why did you refer to it as counterproductive? It's a very different
Because it's all about the cause. It's all about the utopia.
way to describe it.
It is both morally wrong and counterproductive, as well as being
You
illegal.
tweeted, it's hard
She doesn't like saying that. You can tell she doesn't like saying that.
to be mad about protests in reference to the BLM protests not prioritizing the private property of a system of oppression. You didn't condemn the looting. You said that it was counterproductive. NPR also promoted a book called In Defense of Looting. Do you think that that's an appropriate use of taxpayer dollars?
I'm unfamiliar with that book, sir, and I don't
was.
believe that was at my
You
time at
tweeted
NPR.
that you read that book, but
I don't believe that I did
It's great when I've got this many receipts. You're a red.
read that book, sir.
do you think that a few years ago NPR educated America about, quote, the whole community of genderqueer dinosaur enthusiasts? Do you think that that's an appropriate use of tax dollars?
I was not at NPR at the time, sir.
That's not the question, though. Do you think that that's an appropriate use of our tax dollars?
I think our tax dollars that we use are to be able to provide a wide range of
So I'll
perspectives.
take that as a yes. You do believe that that's appropriate.
Listen, when you hear all this system of oppression and proletariat, there's a reason this stuff sounds cultish. Yeah, that's the reason. You can see all that stuff more like spells. They get together, they repeat this stuff, and it energizes them. They feel like they've got a language to speak about something that most people don't understand. They're better than you. They know better than you, which is why they'll happily you on the way to the communist utopia. That's why she can live in this obvious deception. Because it's always about the commie utopia. We don't care about individuals, the millions of individuals that might starve to death, get tortured or murdered en route, because, it'll be worth it in the end, especially the way things are going under capitalism.
Your health advisor at NPR also stated in an interview that, quote, fear of fatness is more harmful than actual fat. Would you like to explain how fear of fatness is more harmful than actual fat? That's an editorial at NPR.
Why are they writing editorials? That doesn't make sense on its own, but okay. Fear of fatness is more damaging, more harmful than fatness. And that's the brain-dead world in which these freaks live.
I'm not familiar with the editorial, and I don't believe that was published during my time here.
It's called Diet Culture is Everywhere. Here's how to fight it. Do you think that that's an appropriate use of taxpayer dollars?
I think any reporting on health is an appropriate use.
Yeah, that wasn't the question though. Well, any reporting on health, even if it's misleading, dangerous, damaging, wrong, but any health reporting is good. Okay.
Taxpayer dollars, yes.
And you think that editorializing that fat is not unhealthy is appropriate?
I
don't know what that article is, sir, and I'm not familiar with it, so I couldn't.
Well, you can have a guess. I mean, why don't you have a think about fatness is more harmful than fatness? I mean, just there's a few clues in there that you might get an idea of what. It's almost like the conclusion has been used as the title.
Fake news. Do you think that...
Hang on, did he say that's fake news? Hang on.
What that article is, sir, and I'm not familiar with it, so I couldn't say.
Fake news. Do you think that basic accommodations like doorways or seat belts represent, quote, latent fat phobia?
I don't have an opinion.
That's also
sir.
from NPR. Do you think...
You don't have an opinion on seat belts being latent fat phobia. I want you to have an opinion on that. I would just to know that you can process very basic lunacy and know, you're making decisions. You are making editorial decisions as the CEO of National Public Radio. You haven't got an opinion? Okay, well just run things like that. Just run it. Why not? Fair enough.
Civility is racist?
No, sir.
No.
Hang on, let's go back a bit.
I have an opinion.
That's also
sir.
from NPR. Do you think civility is racist?
No, sir.
No. Well, your outlet ran an article entitled, quote, "When Civility is Used as a Cudgel Against People of Color." That was on All Things Considered.
I mean, if you honestly think that civility, if this is your premise, civility can be used as a cudgel against black people, if you honestly believe that, then you also believe that black people can't be civil. That's the old bigotry of low expectations. So much of this tosh, ironically, dialectically, oozes its own transparent hatred.
Would you like to explain?
I'm not on the editorial side, so I'm not familiar with that story.
Sure.
You talk about how NPR is news. This is editorialization, and I'll read it. For many people of color in the United States, civility isn't so much social lubricant as it is a vehicle for containing them, preventing social mobility, and preserving the status quo. This is garbage. I'll spend all of my time doing everything I can to ensure you guys never get another dollar of taxpayer funding. This is complete garbage. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Yes. Brilliant. And absolutely right. But these committees, these are almost more important than grabbing the money back. I mean, don't get me wrong, in the order of things, money's quite near the top. But showing people, and you know full well, all those loonies at the Tesla protests, they don't watch this stuff, and if they do watch it, well, they probably go along with her. We're among them. They're everywhere. Ta-da!